Good afternoon. So we are a few days before April, and so we're officially in spring season. You can see by the dark skies up there, it is sprinkling just a bit. Literally the second time of the year that it rained here in Visalia. We don't get a whole lot of rain, especially this year for some reason. But I wanted to show you a lot of the tropicals are waking up. I mean, sugarcane jujube. It was just a month ago that, the thing was bare. Kahalalongan, new growth, as you could see. Something about the new growth on these tropicals that's just want to make you protect them. It's very visually stunning. More longans. Of course, the papaya. Yeah, papayas. I'm gonna have to remove some of the new growth just because every single part of the tree that has a leaf node essentially pops out a set of branches. So it's gonna be a multi-branch papaya tree, and each branch has dozens and dozens of fruits. There's just no way that this little guy is going to be able to handle that many fruits. So I'm going to have to strip out some of the new growth and focus on securing the top growth. Even the Inga here is pushing out a bunch of new growth. This guy got no impact at all from the cold. Again, it's just, look at it. It's like it just wants to cry out to you and say, protect me. But all these are out here in the full sun, relatively unprotected. There is a couple of ultra sensitive tropicals that I want to talk about today, which are in the back, so I'll take you to the back. So here's the back. So just continuing on really quick about some of the tropicals that are waking up due to the warmer weather and the wetter weather. If you look at this Gaffna etemoya from that angle, you probably can't see a whole lot. However, if you come closer, and because I am getting old, if you put on your glasses, you see a bunch of new growth here. So all the old leaves are going to be dropped and new ones go out to take its place. So speaking of getting old, I've been getting a lot of letters from AARP for some reason. And I'm just in my late 30s too. But there is one tree that I wanted to talk about first. It is a mango. Worst of all, unlike a traditional mango, which are fairly easy to, let me rephrase that, which can be easy to grow in the Central Valley, this particular mango basically is going through its teen years. For that is gonna be the Mangosteen, also known as a Mangosteen. So this particular guy right here, it is just very picky about everything. Water has to be at the right level, humidity has to be at the right level, temperature has to be within its tolerances, which generally are between 50 to 100 degrees. So it's just ultra sensitive tropicals. As you can see, I've got it shaded for the daytime. And in terms of watering and humidity, I do have this sprayer here which sprays it, and because I do have it shaded, I'm not concerned about the leaf burns from the sun. So that in many ways increases the humidity as well as keeping it cool during the summertime. Wintertime, I'm gonna have to create a little greenhouse here, a heated greenhouse, where I'm going to temperature control it where it really won't drop below 50 degrees. So that's is what I'm gonna have to do. The sad thing with the mangosteen specifically is I'm gonna have to do that for a while. You're talking maybe 7 to 10 years before it starts giving me the first batch of fruits. And in terms of the moisture level in the ground, I've got a little gizmo here that tells me when the ground is wet or not. Oops. It's this little moisture sensor. It's essentially a wig that tells me when it's wet. It sucks in the moisture from the ground, and if there's moisture in the ground, it turns blue. So pretty neat there. So mangosteen. This is also commonly known as a purple mangosteen. So pretty neat there. Propagated from seed. So concerning the summertime temperature, if you look up the internet, they're suggesting that anything below 100 they may stress. However, that really hasn't been my case. I've actually had this in a container in the backyard throughout summer last year, and it did fine. And again, that was a year ago, so it's technically matured a year more, so it should be slightly hardier. So pretty excited about that guy. Quite well, it is reported to be tolerant of clay soil, so that's why I just got it right in the ground. And being that it is a seedling, it's gonna be able to adapt slightly better than if it were a grafted plant. So the other tree that I want to talk about, same situation as the mangosteen, and that would be this little guy right here. These two guys right here, I have two of them. Basically a ball of Velcro, also known as Rambutan. Also quite sensitive. You want to keep the temperature maintained between 50 to 100 degrees. As you can see, if you come closer, the first one, it got sunburned just a bit. It took me a bit too long to erect this shade cloth, but the one right behind him was relatively shaded, and it had no problem at all. So I have a high level confidence that this guy will bounce right back up. But anyhow, same situation. I've got a sprinkler here, which keeps it nice and humid and cool during the summertime. So one thing about my watering situation here, and this doesn't really just apply to these two, but I've got it on an automatic system where I actually water the trees practically every hour for 3 minutes per hour. So the sprinkler comes on 3 minutes every single hour from like 8 to 5. So it's with tropicals, it's a lot better to give them in small doses but more frequently. So that's how I've got my water situation set up. So just a quick tour of some of what I have here. This spot right here is used to be where I had my ice cream banana. This is now the leftover. It was the banana clump itself was going about 6 years old. Very productive, but I have a lot of bananas, and I figured might as well just convert this into more like an ultra sensitive section. One tip on removing the banana: make sure you remove every single tuber. Otherwise, if I leave this in the ground, because of the roots, this will turn into another new bunch of banana. So in some ways they are an invasive species, just because it is so hard to get rid of. So got rid of them. Makes a great biomass. So everything that you see here, I mean, this is a good 6 inches high, just nothing but banana stalks and leaves. And over in this part, of course, I had the Hawaiian solo papaya, which I also took out. Not to worry, I've got a bunch of seedlings that I'm propagating, and they germinate quite easily too, so I'm not really losing anything. Reason why I took out the Hawaiian Solo was because, as you might have recall, papayas aren't the longest lived trees. This particular one's been in the ground 5 years. They average about 7 years, so it only has maybe 2 more years of life left before it just topples over. So just took it out. So my strategy for this section really is just create a greenhouse going forward for during the winter time. But I wanted to show you just some of the more sensitive tropicals that I have. A lot of them are seedlings, some of them are grafted, but Rollinia here, part of the Annona family, just a number of seedlings in here. Sourshops, of course. Sourshops, reason why I'm just propagating from seeds is they do grow quick, and generally 3 years, that's when they start producing fruits for you. So that's why I'm able to just propagate them from seeds. Almost all of the trees that you see here are quite tolerant of our clay soil. So in many ways, I actually don't even amend the soil. I just want to stick these guys in the ground and hope that they get acclimated, and for the most part they should get acclimated fairly easily, just because they again are seedlings. So what else do we have here? Jackfruits. I actually have 2 experiments going on here. This first batch of jackfruits were left out in outside, unprotected, for about a month or so. So I just wanted to see which one is going to do better. Whereas this one, this batch right here, was left in my garage, so relatively sheltered, especially in terms of warmth. So I'm just gonna see which one does better. But they both batches seem to be doing fine. Barbados cherry, of course, and of course you can't forget the Gummachel. A bunch of new growth here. So yeah, all 3 of these really can take the full sun. That's why it's back here where it gets front of the sun. This is a purple Kaimito, soy apple, and this guy, which is shaded, is a green variety Kaimito, also another star apple. So anyhow, yeah, that is what's been happening here. So this is basically a corner of my yard that I'm trying to see how much of a microclimate I can provide in order to get these guys to grow and thrive here. So this is, as you can see, a lot of these are seedlings, so I'm really in it for a long run. You know, the best tree that you can have was one that was planted 5-10 years ago, but it is never too late to start. So anyhow, yeah, that's it. Just wanted to show you, you know, you've got mangosteens here, rambutans here, growing here, and let's see, I mean, just to see what how they do. So anyhow, all right, have a good afternoon.